Mercer is going to share some of her fall desserts with us, and as you just, always bring the greatest stuff.
Thank you.
That was
wonderful. Yeah,
I want to dig in here.
We'll dig in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what'd you bring?
So, I brought a pumpkin cheesecake. All right, and a chocolate souffle cake with raspberry sauce and another little bonus dessert over there.
You must know I like pumpkin, because I'll take this whole thing. Mel can have that one.
I think it's the raspberry that I'm smelling over here. It's just delightful. It's wonderful aromas, and we've got chocolate and all kinds of good stuff over here. Yeah. So the whole idea here is that we're not skipping on the pleasure of eating decadent desserts like this.
Definitely not.
What we're doing is we're infusing them with better ingredients for the waistline, right?
And let's start with this, pumpkin cheesecake. So cheesecakes are very decadent. It's just basically a lot of really fatty cheese, right? Mm-hmm. So I lightened it up by putting in some pumpkin. So it's basically half pumpkin, half cheese, ricotta cheese too. It's not even cream cheese, so it's a little bit lighter.
You did these yourself?
Of course.
Oh,
they're that easy.
And then you can have the pumpkin ricotta.
I'm not even a baker.
Let's try these.
So the secret with the pumpkin cheesecake, I'm not really, I love to cook. I'm a chef, but not so much in desserts. But so I've always done the shortcut and used the canned pumpkin. Mm-hmm. And finally I said, let me just cook a pumpkin. It's not that hard.
You really? You cooked a pumpkin?
How do you do that?
So you take this pumpkin, you just wash it off, right? You poke holes in it with a knife. You put it on a baking sheet. You don't do anything else. You just stick it on the baking sheet like this for about 40 minutes at like 400 degrees. And then it's done. You put your knife through it, and if it goes through all the way, it's done. And then you just let it sit for a couple hours,
or
even overnight. About 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
Yeah, 400 degrees.
And you don't even have to have it and scoop out the
You don't have to even
seeds.
put a knife to it other than just piercing it with the knife.
Well, that would have been good to know like last year. I don't think we're having a problem. No, because last year, there was that pumpkin shortage. A pumpkin canned pumpkin shortage.
Right,
so, most people were just trying to get one or two at the store. But, it didn't look like we're having that problem now.
So after you get done baking it, then what do you do? Then you have it.
Sit. You can even let it sit overnight in the oven. Just let it hang out for a couple of hours at least, or overnight. Mm-hmm. And then what happens is you take it out, and the peel comes right off. Literally, you just peel it off as if you're peeling something like your mask off your face.
This.
You just peel it right off.
This is delicious, by the way.
And if you taste the inside, because we're so used to tasting canned pumpkin, which is kind of like bitter and sour.
Right.
This is sweet, like butternut squash sweet.
This is really
good. So you don't even have to add all that sugar to it. You can cut the sugar in half.
Wow.
Because the pumpkin it's been roasted, so all the sweetness has come out. The sugars have been caramelized.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I love it.
I
love it. I just want to keep on eating and not talking.
It's wonderful, and it's not like so heavily sweetened.
Yeah.
Like you said, it definitely is sweet, but not very sugary.
Yeah.
But still so good.
Yeah, you want to taste the pumpkin. You don't want to just taste, like you're eating syrup.
So you're taking out the fat with the part skim ricotta, right?
Yeah.
That's what you use probably?
Yeah,
and then
I
the
did.
Pumpkin. And then what about the icing there?
That's where I splurged on.
Okay.
The icing in a dessert.
It's basically heavy whipping cream and a little bit of sugar.
So good.
But it's just a little bit on top.
It's wonderful.
And prep time, minus the whole pumpkin cooking time, how long did that take?
And you do everything in the food processor. The graham cracker crust, you just buy graham crackers, you put them in with cinnamon and a little bit of sugar.
I would think so many people would be overwhelmed to think, I'm going to do a cheesecake. But just thinking about that, but you make it sound so easy. And it can be easy.
Yeah, you make the crust first, you put it out into the pan, and then you put in the filling, which is pumpkins and the cheese and a little bit of eggs and sugar and vanilla extract.
Oh, it's so delicious. Yeah. Anything homemade always tastes better, doesn't it? And this is a great alternative to your traditional pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving.
Yes. Which is
could serve this.
pumpkin-y,
So pumpkin-y. I love your words. Let's talk about this one over here by Mel.
Okay, so that is a dark chocolate souffle cake, and it's almost flourless. There's basically a quarter cup of flour in that whole thing. So what makes that whole thing? It's the dark chocolate. That's the key ingredient.
Which is better for you, right?
Which is better for you. And my secret ingredient is instant coffee granules that gives it a deeper, even chocolatier taste. Yeah.
How much do you use?
About a tablespoon.
Okay.
And you just whisk it with the water. And this cake, you make it all pretty much in a saucepan. Because you melt the chocolate in saucepan with the butter, with the coffee granules, with the sugar.
Hey, less dishes. I like
totally
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we going to try this one too?
Yeah, you can use
the big knife.
Yeah.
Get the big guns out there.
Alrighty.
And then the raspberry sauce. Look how fancy it is. All you do is get a frozen bag of organic raspberries, put them in your pot, let them just cook up, and then strain them so you don't get seeds. And that's it. Oh, and add a little bit of
look
sugar.
at how beautiful this is when you cut
that's
into
nice
it.
for the presentation.
Oh, wow, gorgeous.
But yeah, it looks like you may have bought that, but you made that. That's what's impressive.
I made it, and it was so easy. You know, anybody can. And it's a souffle cake, so see, it's so fluffy because you whip the egg whites, and that gives it all the air and fluffiness.
That's the trick.
And again, almost no flour.
Huh.
You know, if you serve this, people are going to go, wow. I mean, that. What did you say that was a raspberry?
Raspberry.
That is very impressive.
It's just
looks
frozen
special.
raspberries in a saucepan with a little bit of sugar.
Now,
and
how do you get the
great.
seeds out? What do you do with it? Do you strain it?
Yeah. So after you're done cooking after they cook down because they were frozen, you add a little bit of sugar, then you strain it.
And so there's no extra sugar in the topping.
This is actually still warm.
I added a little bit of sugar because
oh my goodness.
You got
It's still warm.
It just came out of the oven.
That is great. Oh, what's over there in the middle?
Okay, so that is a very simple fall. Figs are really still in season right now. You can still get them for the next couple of weeks, and they're awesome. I got organic figs. It's better to get them organic because you're going to eat the peel. You don't have to even peel them. You split it in half, as I've done there, and then I mixed up some leftover ricotta cheese with a little bit of honey and some orange blossom water, and that's it. Just honeyed ricotta cheese. Stick it, just spoon it in the middle of the fig with a little bit of pistachios. And see how fancy that looks?
It does.
And it's really good. It's very light. You know, there's fruit in there.
And it dresses up a fig, because I think some people
aren't
fig people, but when you mash all this together and make it so beautiful.
It's so good.
Yeah,
it looks good.
When you think just having fruit for dessert is kind of boring, but that looks 5-star, doesn't it? I mean, that's like very, very gourmet looking.
Yeah, in 5 minutes.
Fabulous.
5-star in 5 minutes.
So what are some of the ingredients when we're thinking about how to cut some of the fat and the sugar out of it, generally speaking? What do we use instead of, say, a lot of butter?
Instead of a lot of butter, you can actually cut the butter in half. So instead of 8 tablespoons of butter, 4 tablespoons butter, 4 tablespoons applesauce.
Applesauce. My mom does that in pancakes.
Applesauce.
You can't tell the difference.
No, you can't tell the difference.
Makes it a different kind of fluffy too.
Yeah, and it's moist. Or you can use pumpkin butter. Right now they have pumpkin butter in the stores.
Okay.
So, or you can even use any jam if the flavor goes with the cake. Like with a chocolate cake, raspberry jam goes really well with chocolate cake.
There you go.
So using things
And then
like that.
flour, can you substitute whole wheat flour or something like that?
I always do that.
Makes
whole wheat flour.
a little bit more healthy.
It gives you a little bit more fiber in your dessert.
Good to know.
Your dessert's going to keep you regular there. Tanya Mercer, good to see you. Thanks for bringing this.
Thank you.
Everything's delicious. Yeah, thanks,
Thank
Tanya.
you.